Good morning and welcome back to Deer Valley Homestead. Today we are talking money. How much has it cost us to run this homestead for 1 year? Bear in mind we do this mostly for ourselves. It's not aiming to make a profit or something like that. We do this so that we can provide our own food and because we love all the animals that we keep. I'm going to split it down into 4 sections, and that is the cost to buy the animals, the cost to feed the animals, the cost to house the animals, and then any profit that we have made selling things like eggs. To borrow a line from Matt at Diesel Creek, it is very much a pay-to-play business. The first animals we're going to look at are the rabbits. We currently have 14 rabbits. We started off with 4. We bought 1 male, 1 buck, that was Johnny, who sadly has passed away. And we bought 2 ladies, and Stiga was given to me as a birthday present last year, so I don't count any cost for her. Johnny cost us 30 euros, and the 2 ladies, Oreo and Devil, cost us 15 euros each. The rest of the rabbits here are all the offspring from those 4. So there is Oreo's litter, 5 here. The other rabbits that are out in the rabbit tractor are Stiga's babies. She had a litter of 6. So in total, cost to buy rabbits 60 euros. To feed the rabbits we've been using hay, which came from our own land, so we didn't pay anything for that. We also feed them some pellets and some minerals. For the pellets we have used 8 bags over the last 12 months, and those bags cost us 17 euros per piece. For the rabbit housing, this structure, which you may have seen the video for, cost me 250 euros. With the rabbits, we haven't really been aiming to make any money. However, we did sell 1 buck from Stiga's litter, and we sold him for 30 euros. The other cost for the rabbits with housing, these rabbit tractors, I built 2 of these, and they cost me about 50 euros a piece. The most expensive part was the roof, that was 20 euros. The wood is all just roofing battens, it's very cheap wood, and then the mesh. Okay, for the cockerels, we bought 20 as day-old chicks, and they were 8 cents a piece. Food-wise, they've had their share of the grain, which I will talk about later because that's gone between a whole bunch of different animals, and they've had a bag or 2 of feed as well, and a little bit of minerals, which again I'll mention later, but that comes to about 17-18 euros. This house cost me about 200 euros to build, and most of that was the roof, 20 euros, and the wheels and that system underneath, which was about 60 euros, and then the wood and the automatic chicken door. The automatic chicken door was also 16 euros. We sold 10 of the cockerels and we made 70 euros on that. The ducks, so we keep silver Indian runner ducks. We originally paid 30 euros for a male and a female, a breeding pair, and then we've recently bought 2 more, who are the 2 slightly smaller ladies, and we had to pay 20 euros each for those because we didn't want to take the males with them. So in total for ducks we have spent 70 euros. Our ducks did breed this summer, and we ended up with 4 baby ducks, 4 chicks. However, all 4 of them were males. So there's 1 here, he's the one at the back, and the other 3 have gone to Beata's mum's house, and they're living there in a bachelor group very happily, eating all the slugs from the garden. The cost to feed the ducks for the year has so far been 4 bags of food, which was 17 euros a bag. Quick maths, 68 euros. Hopefully I got that right. If not, I'll edit it out. Okay, the duck house cost me about 200 euros. The roof is actually some old roof that we took off a shed that we took down. And then the rest of the wood, screws, etc. came to about 200 euros. And then additionally, we bought some fencing, which was about 100 euros. That was just a roll of chicken wire and some of these cheap plastic posts. We also have a duck pond, not that you can see it because it's in the shade, but the duck pond we were given as well. And that was from one of the local guys, saw we had some ducks and said, hey, I've got this pond, I used to breed fish in it, would you like it? Of course, free is always the best kind of thing. Next year we hope to incubate some eggs, possibly sell some of the young ones and possibly eat some as well. Quack, quack. While I'm here, I will mention the mallards. We bought 10 mallards, they were 2.50 euros a piece, so 25 euros we spent. You may remember they were pretty prolific in the shorts. I absolutely loved them, they were so full of just attitude and zest and personality, they were just amazing. They used to follow me around the garden whenever I was doing anything because they always associated me with food. The mallards ate 6 bags of food, and that was a total cost of 102 euros. The mallards have all been butchered. Some of them are still in the freezer, and some of them have already been enjoyed. Again, we didn't sell any mallards, so we didn't make any money there. As for housing the mallards, we didn't incur any expenses there. I will cover the brooder later, but for the mallards, they lived in one of the old chicken houses. The aviary here. This is by far one of the most expensive areas and the most expensive to look after. Now, we currently have 4 pheasants in here. We have 2 golden pheasants, a male and a female, and 2 what we think are field pheasants. All of these have been given to us. So the golden pheasant was the 2 golden pheasants were a birthday present for me from Bee's mum. The 2 field pheasants, wherever they're hiding, they were from Beata's sister. There's also 2 quail who are living in here, and that was just because we had 2 quail who really weren't getting along with everyone else, and the easiest way to sort out the fighting was to take one of the males out. So he lives in here with his missus somewhere. They do have a nest in the grass, but I haven't seen them even try and sit on it, so I don't think we'll be having any baby quails in here. The pheasants really don't eat very much at all. They love picking through the grass. They love eating all the bugs. We put food out for them nearly every day, but they just don't really touch it. They generally just use it as a food bath, and it is a special pheasant food, so I am confident that it is the right thing. So in terms of food, they've cost us 17 euros for the year, which is 1 bag of food. Now, the expensive part of these guys was building this aviary. The fence here for the 4 extra posts, 1, 2, 3, 4, that was 80 euros. The piece of fencing, also 80 euros. The net was 30 euros. The little wooden structure that we have for them for a little bit of shelter, that cost me 60 euros in wood, and a little bit of money for the roof. And then all of this cherry wood, that is their structure in the middle, that was free. That was from a tree that we cut down. And then there's a couple of plants in here. There's a laurel and a couple of evergreens, not that you can really see them, but that cost us 30 euros as well. So this really was the most expensive area, and it still wasn't that high. So in total that was about 290 euros just to build the enclosure. And as for any profit from these guys, we haven't sold any eggs, we haven't sold any pheasants. These guys are mostly just here for pleasure, and if they happen to do some breeding, we'll be sure to sell some babies. But let's go and talk quail. Okay, for the quails, we currently have 23 quails. We originally bought 6, we bought 5 ladies at 2.50 euros a piece, and we bought 1 male at 4 euros. This cage was 38 euros, and the other cage that you've seen me make, which was some old bunk beds, we paid maybe 20 euros in materials, and I did the rest of it. These quails have been quite prolific, they've been very easy to breed. In total, they've had 5 bags of food at 17 euros a bag, and that is, I think, 85 euros of food. So from the first 6, we bred a batch of about 20-25, and of those in total, including the original ones, I have about 22-23 left, and they will soon be going to the freezer once the egg production stops for the summer, or for autumn. We've also sold a whole bunch of quail eggs. We've sold 280 quail eggs at 10 cents a piece, so that is 28 euros profit from quail eggs. Hopefully you can see some of our chickens in the background. We currently have 16 layers, 16 ladies, and we've got 2 of the cockerels in here, which I've mentioned already. The 4 original layers came from Bee's mum, and we didn't pay anything for those. They were a gift. These 12 ladies, we originally bought 20 at 80 cents a piece, so 16 euros. And these guys, and we have 12 left. We lost 2 to hawks, and the other 6 have gone to live with Bee's mum as her new laying flock for this year. In total, the chickens have had 6 bags of food, which is 103 euros, I think, somewhere around there. And they've also this year had 1 ton of grain. Now most of that grain is left, but we bought it this year, so I'll count it here. And that was 400 euros for 1 ton of grain to feed to the chickens. And in terms of chicken eggs, we haven't sold very many. We sold 40. Mostly we've just been using them for ourselves. so we made €8 on chicken eggs. As for chicken housing, chicken fencing, we built the chicken house last year, so I don't count that in the budget for this year. Hopefully our guinea fowl will stick around long enough to be in this video. But we have our 4 original guinea fowl over here. We originally bought 1 male and 3 females, and we paid €15 a piece, so that was €60 in total. However, it turned out in the end that we had 3 males and 1 lady. They're not supposed to enjoy living in a flock like that, but these guys have been absolutely fine and they haven't caused us any problems. We have also recently purchased 1 more guinea fowl, which is a beautiful white one. I will show you her shortly. And we have had 6 guinea fowl babies, 1 of which passed away, and the other 5 are running around here somewhere. Our guinea fowl, in terms of housing, have only cost us €20, and that was right at the beginning when I put the plastic netting across the top of the chicken area because I was scared they would fly away. In reality, they haven't run away, they haven't tried to fly away, they haven't done anything crazy. So €20 for roof netting, and they've lived in the chicken house, so no cost for that. In terms of food, they share the corn, the grain with the chickens, and they also get another feed, and they've had about 5 bags of that feed, which is another €85. So there is the original 4, and I believe normally, oh, you guys are outside today, huh? Oh well, there are the 4 babies. They have decided to take a trip into the field today. I guess they must have found a way through the fence. Anyway, I'm not too worried, they're fairly territorial. They will come back on their own. And I'm going to go and find the other 2 who are still in the brooder. The ones in the brooder, 1 of them we hatched ourselves and 1 of them we bought. We didn't like that there was 1 without any friends. Guineas are very, very social animals. Please don't open. Guineas are very, very social and they need friends. So we ended up buying 1 more guinea just so that this guy didn't get raised up on his own. Hey guys. There we are. And this is our new guinea, Bee's favourite animal. This beautiful white grey coloured guinea, and the other one which we hatched out ourselves. These guys really want some freedom, and in a few days they will get some. So our guineas have pretty much integrated themselves, that first batch of 4 with the 4 adults. So they will move in with them full time soon. First I have to move the chickens out, but that's a whole nother story. They're going to another location, and this area is going to be just for the guinea fowl. And lastly, I can't not mention him. This is Jack. Here's our kitten, who's not so much of a kitten anymore. He joined us about 2 months ago. He was also free, and he's cost us about €20 in food. I don't know if he really counts as a homestead animal, but we're hoping that he will help us keep any mice or rats or anything like that away that may choose to move in the future. What do you think, Jack? Oh, okay, so there are a few other things that I need to mention, costs that we incurred this year, that didn't necessarily go down to just 1 animal. They were split between a couple of others. The first one, minerals. We spent €30 on various minerals, and that goes between all of the poultry and the rabbits. And that's just a little improvement for their diet. Nothing special, but that cost us €30. We spent €220 on an incubator. The incubator has been a bit of a disaster. That's a whole nother story. It has just come back from being fixed. And in the incubator we have hatched. And the incubator was what we used to hatch all of the quail and the 5 guineas or 6 guineas that have hatched as well. Hopefully the incubator will be a lot busier next year and we'll be able to produce a lot more young animals. The brooder. On the brooder we have spent around €100, and that was €65 on a heat plate and €35, so that's €110 on a heat lamp. The rest of the stuff in the brooder is just the other side of the chicken shed, and we didn't have to buy anything to put in there. Some other small stuff, food trays, water bottles, feeding trays, you name it, all that kind of stuff, around €200. I didn't work it out exactly. A few other bits to mention. The treatment that I've put on a bunch of the animal structures was quite expensive, and then of course the screws, catches, hinges, all of that stuff. I estimate that's about another 400 euros. Barrels, as you've seen, we store a lot of the animal food in barrels, and that's just to keep it safe from the rain and any other animals that may wish to eat some for free. So we paid 25 euros a piece, and we have 8 of them, so that is another 200 euros. Lastly, the water system that you saw me install, we use that for watering all the animals, so I'm going to include that in here. And for the well pump and the piping and all those connections, I paid 300 euros. And of course I did all the work myself, so that was the total price for that. Okay, so I have all the final numbers. In the end, we spent 239 euros and 10 cents on animals. We spent 1,032 euros on food, which I thought was going to be the biggest number, but it wasn't. We spent 1,238 euros on housing animals. So that's the new rabbitry, the new chicken house, the duck house, the aviary, and also the quail cages. The other incidentals that I mentioned, so the incubator, the brooding stuff, the barrels, the water system, all of that stuff came to 1,100 euros. And lastly, our sales, we made 152 euros from selling various things from the homestead. So in total, to keep our 100 animals this year, it has cost us 3,447 euros. A lot of that is expenses that we won't have to pay again, and we do have a lot of stuff left. So I still have animal minerals, I still have a lot of food, as you saw in the bags. We've just topped up, and all of that has gone into this year's pricing. So that's it. That's how much it's cost us to start up and get going. We now have over 100 animals here, and our plan is just to keep going, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm going to get back to work. I need to finish our new wood storage, get all this sanded and painted. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully we'll catch you next week.